what I've said, which is mostly physical well-being and mental well-being, into the bigger ecosystem of well-being. Naresh used the word ecosystem of well-being. So this is the ecosystem of total well-being. This slide is prepared as a result of my work at the Gallup organization, where I have served as a senior scientist for many years. Career well-being simply means, are you happy at your job? If your boss ignores you, your rate of disengagement goes up to 40% or more. If your boss does not ignore you but criticizes you, you get better. You would rather be criticized than ignored, because now at least you exist. So if you're criticized, your rate of disengagement goes down to 20%. But if your supervisor, boss, CEO notices a single strength that you have and expresses it with authenticity, disengagement goes to less than 1%. In the United States, it seems like 30% of workers come disengaged to work. They're unhappy, they make other people unhappy, and everybody gets inflamed. So a good organization, a good business, a good system is where there is shared vision, where everybody complements each other's strengths, where everybody is emotionally and spiritually connected, and suddenly the health of the business improves as well. Because the health of the business is dependent on the health of the ecosystem of the business. In an ecosystem of business, you have employees, you have employers, you have customers. If your employees are healthy and happy, your customers are going to be healthy and happy. And if your customers are healthy and happy, your investors are going to be happy and healthy. That's a good business. Similarly, social well-being. If you have a friend who's a happy friend, your happiness goes up by 15%. But if the happy friend has a happy friend that you don't know, it still keeps going up. This is because we all come with personal stories and we entangle with each other. And if I'm happy, I'm influenced by all my happy friends. If I'm unhappy, I'm influenced by all my unhappy friends. And today, scientists are actually looking at what we call the demographics of happiness. Only 10% comes from outside sources. The remaining 90% of your happiness depends on your attitude to life. Do you see the world as a problem or as an opportunity? It also comes on whether you have meaning or purpose in life. It also comes from your ability to make other people happy by giving them attention, appreciation, affection, and acceptance. So social well-being is crucial to physical well-being. Similarly, financial well-being. Ultimately, actually, as we did our surveys, we found that even though there are so many components of well-being, concern about money is the number one insecurity in the world. No matter how rich people are or how poor people are, concern about money is the number one concern. So financial security depends on other aspects of security, but also on things like insurance, disability, the ability to take time off, etc. And in the United States now, there's a movement called Just Capital. I was one of the original founders of that. And we are looking at financial well-being of everyone in an ecosystem of well-being. And finally, community well-being, something that has not been looked at until recently. You can predict what's going to happen in the United States, everything, including COVID-19 risk, cancer, heart disease, just by looking at the zip code of a person living in the United States. In many Middle East countries, you can see that well-being, community well-being is totally correlated with physical well-being and all other aspects of well-being. And something that we in India enjoyed in the past and still do when you have what we call organized events, a shared passion, some kind of volunteerism, the traditional ways of building a beautiful community. Sangha, which means community, Sangha, Satsang, people who are looking for an ideal way to live life. Sangha, Seva, service, and Simran, which is remembrance of our spiritual nature. In the Buddhist tradition, we say take refuge in the Buddha, which means higher consciousness, refuge in the Dharma, the higher cause, and refuge in the Sangha. So when we build these communities of well-being, they have influence on all aspects of our well-being. If you ask somebody one simple question, and that question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much energy do you have to do all the things you want to do in a given day? And if intuitively they think 8, 9, and 10, they're thriving. If intuitively they say 6, 7, they're struggling. And if their score is less than 5, just on that simple question, how much energy do you have? They're suffering and they probably have a chronic disease already. But the same question can be asked on the scale of 1 to 10 about career, about social well-being, about community well-being, and about financial well-being. And these are very predictive biomarkers, or you should say social markers, of what is going to happen in the future. So I mentioned earlier, the future of well-being is precise, it's personalized, it's predictable, it's preventable, and it's reversible.
हेल्थ, फिटनेस और पोषण पर पाए बेस्ट डॉक्टर्स की राय सिर्फ famhealth.in पर, और हमारी YouTube पेज माय फैम हेल्थ पर सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें।